Some people living actually have good jobs. They have Canadian passports, a house or two, even PRO for their parents. A few days ago, I saw a post on LinkedIn. A Nigerian man was leaving Canada. He's been here for 13 years. And from his profile, you'll see he had a relatively fulfilling career. But he was still living. The comments were nice, respectful, and very supportive. But that's LinkedIn. Everybody there is on their best behavior because your boss or your business partner may just be on that thread. So nobody wants forehand. Now post that same update on Twitter X or Nairaland and you'll see the dragging. Some will be dragging him. Others will be dragging Canada. Some others will drag him and Canada together. I digress. He's not the only one. More Nigerians are quietly leaving. And today we are talking about the real reason they are leaving. And it's not what you think. Back home, when people hear you're leaving Canada, some people's first reaction is, you know work. Abroad don't show and pepper. But that's not always the story. Some people living actually have good jobs. They have Canadian passports, a house or two, even PRO for their parents. They've done what many dream to do. They've sorted their papers, they found stability, they've ticked the boxes. But they still leave. Not because they are struggling, but because they were never planning to stay. For them, Canada was the entry point, the soft landing. The goal was always somewhere else. And here's the funny thing. You find that most people that are often the loudest critics of Canada are the ones that came with an exit plan. You hear Canada is a scam, nothing really works here. But really, they came, they got what they wanted, they're done, and they move on. Now, not everyone came with a plan B. Some genuinely wanted to stay. They tried, they worked hard, they gave it time. But after a few years, they were not still feeling the country. They couldn't picture themselves retiring here or raising teenagers here. And that's when jackpot to somewhere else plans start coming in. It's not always the weather or the job. Sometimes it's that lingering feeling that, this is not really home. You know, that kind of feeling. So they start exploring other places quietly. And when they find the right place, they move. Let's not forget, there are the people who would leave tomorrow if they could. But they can't. Because relocating again, whether to Nigeria or to somewhere else, takes energy, strategies, support, time, money. Some are still recovering from the cost of moving here in the first place. Flights, rent, job, licensing, buying winter, everything from scratch. Others are in survival mode, juggling multiple jobs, trying to keep up with bills while still sending money home. Because they are in the abroad now. For them, jackpot isn't a plan. It's just a quiet hope. They stay. Not because they love it, but because starting over again feels impossible to do right now. So when you see someone leaving Canada, don't be quick to assume it was because of failure. In fact, people struggling are the ones that find it hard to relocate. And they are the ones whose real reason was just that Canada was a stepping stone, part of the journey, not the destination. And when it served its purpose, they move on. Others genuinely tried to stay. They gave it time. They wanted it to work. But it didn't work. And then there are those that will leave if they could, but they are still figuring life here. And the others that came with this idea that Canada is a perfect place, and then they get disappointed. The next thing is to find another paradise and go check it out. So no, it's not always failure or ungratefulness. It's a lot of reasons. When you add it all up, the long winters, the silence, the cost of living, the parenting pressures, the job barriers. Even if you are doing well on paper, Canada can still leave a bitter taste in your mouth. Not because Canada is terrible, but because it's not the Canada you had in mind. And that's why we'll keep seeing more of these Goodbye Canada posts. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.